What's up, badass Black Desert Mobile fans? With the Fletcher and Archer recently released, I've had a lot of people ask me for a Fletcher guide and an Archer guide. In this video, I'm going to focus on the Fletcher guide. I will be working on that Archer guide for you guys as well. I am going to go over the full PvP, PvE, Hadum Farming, and Boss Rush skill guide, as well as the best branch damages. I will also cover a little bit of what you want to go for as far as AP and DP on your gear and stuff like that. I will cover that towards the end because typically that's about pretty standard for most classes nowadays, and whether you're free to play or pay to win, that is pretty standard across the board. Before I get into the good stuff, if this is your first time in my channel, be sure to check out the description down below for additional badass Black Desert Mobile content. You won't be disappointed. And with that being said, let's dive right in. Now, I'm not going to go through the skills one by one and explain them for which situation they're going to be for. I'm going to simply show you the best setup that I found for these. The best setup that I found for Hadum Farming was actually recommended from one of the guild members in my guild, AJ, so shout out to him and the Hero Guild. I actually tried a couple different setups. This was the first setup that I used. He recommended it. I tried it out. I rocked it. I tested it. It does get 263 kills per minute, which is phenomenal. And then I tested a couple other setups, and they didn't do just quite as well. So this is the best setup that I found. So thank you again to AJ. And the first skill here is Volley of Judgment, followed by Circle of Thorns. And then we actually have Volley of Reckoning twice. We have it on the top and the bottom. It does have 2 charges on a 5-second cooldown time. And then we have your Snare, which is that big AoE skill. And then lastly, at the bottom down there is Sylvia's Vengeance, which is that huge stake that he does into the ground. And this skill setup right here gives you enough charges on all the skills and cooldown time to be able to successfully keep these skills rocking and rolling throughout your entire Hadum Farming setup. That way you're not sitting idle just doing an auto skill. So I do recommend this skill setup. I do rock it. It is working really nice compared to the other skill setups that I have found. As far as PvP skill setup, this is the skill setup number 2 here. So we do have the first skill here is a Bullseye. So the Bullseye does give you that super armor and knockdown. It does come with 2 charges, so you're getting double, immunities there and a knockdown. Shorter cooldown time, really great damage. I mean, you're over 68% damage off the top of my head. For PvP, it's 1300 almost percent damage. So that is the first skill setup there. So that knocks the targets down. Keep Away does give you super armor and gives you a daze. Does come with 4 charges, which is why it's on the bottom down there. Now, it doesn't give you, any immunity in the arenas. But your first skill down here does Volley of Reckoning, the Bullseye, because it does give you that super. The Bullseye also knocks the target down right away. The Keep Away is going to add some damage. It's going to daze them. And just because it comes with 4 charges on a short 5-second cooldown time. We also have Volley of Reckoning at the top up there again. That is going to give 2 charges on a 5-second cooldown time. Does do great damage with a maximum of 4 hits. It does give super armor, but not in the arenas. Lateral attacks are possible, so you can move side to side while using this skill. And it does inflict a knockdown on the target. The third one we have here, Deadshot, is one of the baddest skills. I mean, the Archer skill where he jumps up and flies over everybody is pretty sweet as well. Deadshot is given the iframe, one of the iframes. It does grant super armor while attacking. You cannot be grabbed while jumping. You do get 3 attacks. It inflicts a daze. It inflicts a knockdown on last hit. It does have a longer cooldown time of 10 seconds. Which is why it's towards the end of the skill setup there. But it does give you iframes, super armor, not the greatest damage, but pretty decent damage. The next skill at the bottom down there is Jackpot, which is given a knockdown, no super armor in the arenas, but it does follow that up with a 1 charge on 8-second cooldown time. Doesn't do a ton of, or it does do a pretty good amount of damage, 861 per hit. It does have a max of 2 hits. After that, we go back into the Keep Away again. Follow that up with the Mark of the Rahagon. I'm probably saying that wrong. That's the heal / enrage. And then the last one we have here is the second iframe that the Fletcher is rocking, which is the Execution. It's that jump back. It's his getaway. Now, again, this is just a skill build that I've tried. I have was recommended again by AJ. I did try it a couple times in the arena. It does work really well. I did like it a lot, so I kept using it, and I found that I didn't really need to tweak anything. The only thing I might have tweaked, in honesty, is the execution. I do like the step back skills in my 4th slot up there. That's just a preference because I typically like to step back to get away after I've hit him with the combo effects. But again, that's your personal preference. This is just what I found success in. So the execution on the bottom down there is coming with, medium damage, not the best, but it does give that iframe and that stun. This is a pretty typical skill with most of those jump back skills, whether it's the Huntress or the Raven, some of those other classes that rock that. All right, let's take a quick look before we get into the boss rush skill build that I like, and we're going to take a look at the best branch damages. So for Keep Away is a PvP skill. This is not for Hadum Farming. So Serret is pretty much never going to be used here. It's not in the skill build setup for, farming. So you're going to want to typically just rock with the AAL there. Next up is Deadshot. This is going to be used for PvP. Again, not PvE in my opinion. You do have Lebrev option here and Serret. I don't, again, like it as Serret because I'm not using it for Hadum Farming. If you use it for Hadum Farming, you definitely want to rock it for Serret when you're doing the Hadum Farming. Next is Circle of Thorns, which is definitely used for Hadum Farming. You do want to make sure you pop that on Serret if you're not using it, if you're out farming in Hadum. Otherwise, you're going to want to keep it on Ahib. Bullseye is your PvP skill. This is not going to be for Hadum Farming. The options here are Ahib and Lebrev. And so the option here is if your crit hit damage is maxed at 215%, and you have more Lebrev than Ahib, so I actually have more Ahib at 55% than I do Lebrev at 49%. So the Ahib is actually stronger. If they were even, though, at 50% and 50%, the Lebrev gives slightly more damage output consistently than Ahib. And that's if your crit hit damage is maxed at 215% and they're at the same branch damage percentage. Now, I have a rune equipped that gives me an extra 5% on the Ahib, so I'm actually able to get a little bit better. I'd prefer the rune to give me Lebrev personally. And then I would rock, Lebrev on the extra percentage, and I'd put this towards Lebrev. But as it is at the moment, Ahib is a little stronger because I have a little bit more percentage in there, about 5%. Otherwise, if you have that crit hit damage maxed at 215% and, you have 50% and 50% for Ahib and Lebrev, I would rock Lebrev in that situation. Next is Volley of Reckoning. Volley of Reckoning is used for your PvE farming up here twice. It is not used, or it is used for PvP, so this is used in both situations. Again, the AAL is at 50%, the Ahib is at 55%. I'm actually going to rock the Ahib because it is at 55%. It is a little bit higher, so this is going to give me a little bit more damage output on the Volley of Reckoning. The last skill we have here is Jackpot. This is going to be a PvP skill. It is not used for PvE farming. Again, I have AAL at 50% and Lebrev at 49%. Lebrev is actually going to give a little bit more of a damage output, again, if they're both at 50% and your crit hit damage is max. So I'm going to actually switch that over because I do like that option a little bit better. Even though it's 1% less, that's still going to be a little bit more damage output than AAL. So I like Lebrev. Make sure your crit hit damage is max if you're going to use Lebrev. Otherwise, AAL is going to be the better option there. And that is all of the branch damages. Next, we're going to take a look at the Boss Rush skill build. All right, the third and final skill build that I'm going to cover in this video is the Boss Rush skill build. So I went through the Hadum Farming skill build, which can be used for the Great Desert or Alliance Farming if you would like. I also covered the PvP skill build, which you can use for most PvP situations. You could get away with tweaking one or two of those skills if you needed a little bit more mobility or getaway. And then the third skill build here I do use for the Boss Rush. I did test it out for the past half hour. I took a pause in the video. I went and tested out to see which setup I liked. I do got to say the Keep Away is imperative, especially for most of the bosses that are up in your grill. It does take a step back and do some damage and allow you to do some of the other skills in there. Volley of Reckoning, again, you're a strong damaging skill, plus it's your heal, and it does give you 2 initial charges at 4 hits at 120 HP healed per hit, at least for me because I do have it leveled up. That is 480 HP healed, and then I get to do it again right away if I needed to, so that's almost 1,000 HP healed back to back, so this is very nice and important for that. We do have Volley of Judgment after the step back there does do decent damage. We do have the Bullseye there again. This that does do decent amount of damage. You could possibly get away with swapping those two because that is the step back. So we will actually, I do actually like swapping those two because that is the, you are hitting them with the step back, and then you want to hit him with a heavy skill damage skill. So we're going to hit him with that, and then as he gets closer, you can hit with that. The Volley of Judgment. The Execution, again, is that big jump back again, so you can hit him with the jump back at the end of that. The bottom skill setup down there is your heal. That is the Dead Shot, which is that jump up and invincibility. And then you have your Jackpot skill there. Decent damage. And then the heal, slash, and rage at the bottom down there as well. That is the the boss rush skill set that I used. I tested it. I was able to do boss rushes a few thousand CP above me. It is very nice having a ranged class over the Lupa, which is what I just had, which is more of a melee class. So a ranged class is making it a lot easier, especially with some of the range of some of the skills on the Fletcher. So that is all of the skill builds. Let's quickly take a peek at the overall setup and what you want to go for. Now, this is a ranged class, so typically you want to go for AP in most of your slots with stats. So for the weapon, I do have all AP there where I can get it. I do have the DP there, but again, this weapon is going to get changed out to a pink one here real soon, and then I will go for AP on the top up there. The helmet, you want to go for HP. I'm going to get rid of that Lebrev here as soon as I get another crystal that maxes my Lebrev, and then I'll go to HP there. The bottom two stats, you don't really have a choice, AP and DP. The same thing is true. The weapon or the armor only gives you DP there. The boots, again, movement speed or branch damage are your two best options there. Unfortunately, there's really no other option there. And then for your gloves, you do want HP. Accessories, AP, where you can get it, if not DP. Same thing is true for your runes and light stones. Well, light stones, not necessarily the runes because you don't have a choice there, but light stones, you do want AP over DP. If you go DP, that's more of a survivability, and you don't really need that as much, and it kind of gives you, because AP is needed to clear content aside from PvP. DP is great for PvP if you're a lower CP player. It helps you with Guild Wars, Node Wars, and Black Sun for survivability. But AP helps you with those as well, but it also helps you with boss rushes, farming in Hadum. So I do generally, for most classes, like AP over DP. I do recommend having your Stone of Luck crystal leveled up as much as possible. I do recommend having your Sushi Stone and your PvP Stone as well. And as far as relics and branch damages, so you want to have as many of your branch damages maxed, AAL, Lebrev, and Ahib. And then, Ahib and Lebrev are 1% off there, 2.5% off there. So I do have one more pink crystal, a couple more pink crystals to get, and then I can tweak that and max that a little bit better. I could do that on the boots as well and take out the movement speed since I am maxed on the movement speed. If I equip my Sushi Stone, I am maxed on the crit hit damage, and, you can see that right there. That is everything. There's really not too much else special going on here. I mean, outfits are outfits, your emblems, your rift stones, your rift stone, your sushi stones, your sushi stone. You want to go for relics that are going to give you want red relics, obviously, and then relics that are going to help you max on your branch damages. That's everything for this video. I will follow this up with an archer guide to help you guys out with these skill builds for those as well. Thank you for tuning in. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button on your way out. And with that being said, I will see you next time.